guys, Nicholai here back at you with another response slash reaction video. We're going to be talking about Donald Trump this time, and I know this could be controversial because I have a lot of people who follow me who are not fans of Trump and think that he's been a complete failure in his second term. But I want to kind of address that and kind of make the case that Trump is actually being remarkably successful and that people should stop being negative all the time. Um, he's not perfect, nobody is. But I think that by and large, he's been a massive success and a massive step up. Really, the question comes down to who do you prefer, right? Who do you who do you prefer to have, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, Biden or Trump? Some random GOP stooge or Trump, and that's really what it comes down to, right? Now, some people say there's no difference between the GOP stooge and Trump. We'll go into that. So Chris Rossini, who came up onto my timeline out of nowhere, said Trump massively betrayed his voters. Republicans must unite for the midterms. Unite for what? More betrayals? Completely incoherent. Now let's look at who this guy is. Senior fellow at the Ron Paul Institute, Friday co-host of the Ron Paul Liberty Report. Hmm. I wonder why he doesn't like Trump. Oh, it's because he's a lolbert. He's a libertarian dummy who thinks that Trump has been a disaster for the economy and things like that, which is just objectively not true. So let's get into it. Has Trump been a failure? Well, let's look at his official Trump Vance policies right here in the platform that he ran on, okay, and see if he has been a failure. Seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. That's mostly been done. Record loads on all fronts, more deportations and people voluntarily leaving than are coming in. We've had a net reduction in migrants in the country, and that's a good thing. We're seeing improvements across all levels. It's been only 9 months since he's been in office, and we've seen massive improvements across the board in this country. And to say otherwise is to be ignorant or lie. So let's go on. Carry out the largest deportation ever in American history. That is happening. It's slower than needs to be, but again, he had to wait till he got a bill passed in order to fund an increase in ICE agents and everything else. So, slight delay in that, but they have been working very hard. And just the fact that they're doing it has caused people to leave voluntarily, which is half the battle. You want people to leave of their own volition and not have to force it because that costs money, right? End inflation and make America affordable again. This is slow but steady progress on this. Inflation is now down to uh, pre 2024 2023 levels. They're continuing to slowly go down in terms of inflation, costs of goods, and everything else, but it's not going to hit back down to the lowest levels until more things can be done for the economy and things like that. I mean, that's clearly the trajectory is in the right direction. It's not as fast as probably Trump would even like, but it is slow and steady, and which is good. Frankly, you don't want whiplashing effects anyways. You want there to be a slow down slide to finish kind of a thing. You do not want the economy to just whiplash back and forth like that. Anyways, um, make America the dominant energy producer in the world by far. Um, I don't know enough about this, but it seems like he has reduced a lot of the regulations that Biden era has put in place, and that alone is going to improve a lot of things. So far, he's a 4 for 4 so far. Stop outsourcing and turning the United States into a manufacturing superpower. This is in process. Tariffs have really helped. We know that there's a bunch of manufacturing plants being opened up as we speak. Those take time to build, and so in the right direction here, not perfect. Stop outsourcing needs to include H-1B visas and things like that. Now, they are starting to crack down on it. It's not good enough yet. They need to continue to get better. But some of this stuff can't be done by Trump alone. Some of this stuff has to be supported by Congress, and frankly, Congress is at a standstill because because we have a ridiculous filibuster law where you have to get 60 votes, which is ridiculous. If you have the majority, you have the majority. That's how it should work. Um, Large tax cut for workers, that's happened. No tax on tips, that's happened. defend our Constitution, Bill of Rights, and fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion. For the most part, this has all been kept. I don't know really anything that he's done that's undermined this. So far, he's 7 for 7 for the most part, with a few that are trending in the right direction, but not quite there yet. Prevent a World War III, restore peace in Europe and the Middle East, and build a great iron missile defense shield over the entire country, all made in America. So far, this has been mixed bag. Russia-Ukraine war has been difficult to end, mostly because of Ukraine. I think Trump's getting bad advice on this, but for the most part, his orientation is in the right mindset. He wants the war to end. He's trying to work with Putin. He's trying to work with these people to get it done, and that's admirable and that's good. The Middle East deal that he just announced with Hamas um, has potential. And frankly, despite people freaking out about Iran, nothing of substance happened there either. He got what he wanted from that, and Iran has been very quiet lately. They've been a lot less um, radical. And in fact, it seems that Iran is actually becoming less radicalized in terms of their Islamism. We noticed this with the hijab um, no longer being mandatory in public and no longer result in fines. That means Iran is secularizing, which is actually good because Islam is evil. Um, yeah, so that's that. Um, End the weaponization of government against American people. He's mostly done that. There's not been any, I mean, I haven't seen anything of substance that Trump has gone at, new things that Trump has gone after people over. Stop the migrant crime epidemic. That's in process. That's a slow thing. Demolish the foreign drug cartels. Now, this is the thing that libertarians get all bent out of shape about. He's actually bombing drug cartels who try and bring these um, drugs into our country. Crushed gang violence in DC. He's working on that. We'll see how Memphis goes. If he's successful in Memphis as well as he was in DC, then we can say that he is fulfilling this promise. So this is in progress still, but he's clearly making progress towards it. And lock up violent offenders. They seem to be doing this more. Local jurisdictions are still trying to do no cash for bail and things like that. Those are all local policies that need to change. There's not much you can do on this level. So far, he's 10 for 10. Rebuild our cities, including Washington D.C., make them safe, beautiful again. Um, yeah, he's in progress with this. This is kind of related to 10, so I really wouldn't even count those as separate. Strengthen and modernize our military without make it without question the strongest, most in progress. Hegseth has been phenomenal. He's been really good. But there's still a lot to do to make our military actually functional again, frankly, from my perspective. But in progress. So keep the US dollar the world's reserve currency. So far, he's kept that promise. There hasn't been, BRICS has kind of shifted more towards trade than it has towards creating its own currency system. But they always have that in their back pocket in case, Trump is no longer president and the United States goes off the deep end. But BRICS has been doing a remarkably good job with that, and we'll see how that pans out. But so far, so good. Fight for and protect Social Security Medicaid with no cuts, including no changes to the retirement age. Yeah, that so far has been true. Cancel the electric vehicle mandate and cut costly and burdensome regulations. So far, so good. He's done that. Cut federal funding for any school, pushing critical race theory, gender. He's mostly done this. There are still a few things that I wish they would push a little bit more on these institutions. Keep men out of women's sports. He's been mixed successful on that, but he's in progress, so good for them on that. Deport pro-Hamas radicals and make our college campuses safe and patriotic again. It seems to be done okay. He promised this. People were mixed bag on this because they felt like it would be just used as a pro-Israeli crackdown, which hasn't been the case. No one who's been critical of Israel that is a U.S. citizen has been removed from college campuses. Only foreign students that wave Hamas flags, which again is like counterintuitive. Um, you don't necessarily need to be pro Hamas and pro Israel or pro Israel. You can be anti both, frankly. So mixed bag on that. Secure our elections, including same day voting, our voter ID, paper ballots, and proof of citizenship. This is to be determined. There have been a couple executive orders he's put in place. I don't know if they've gone through yet. I don't know if the courts have put some the brakes on that, but he's making the right progress on that, and that is to be seen. The midterms are really going to determine a lot of that if there's any cheating and stuff like that, especially in blue states where it's very difficult to have oversight. Unite our country by bringing in new and record levels of success remains to be seen. This is kind of like a future promise. So you're really only going to be able to assess 20 by the end of it. And that's just the core 20. I mean, he had a huge platform that's even bigger than that. And it seems to me that Trump has mostly accomplished what he's doing. Um, so this idea that Trump, the only reason people are freaking out about Trump is because of the non-issue that is Epstein. And I will talk about Epstein in a separate video at some point. If you guys have somebody who you think is going to be worthwhile for me to respond to, who has some good arguments for Epstein and things like that, I would be more than happy to respond to it. But other than that, yeah, this is a nothing burger. Trump has been remarkably successful, considering he still doesn't have a filibuster-proof majority in Congress, and Congress is less than fast to get it. I mean, he doesn't even have a full government yet. He doesn't even have all the people that he wants to appoint appointed. So Stephen Miller's been fantastic. I mean, there's been a few mixed bags. Kash Patel's been a mixed bag. Bondi's been a very mixed bag. She's done some really, really good things, and then some really big fumbles on her part. So we'll see how maybe she corrects herself, course corrects, and there's a reason Trump is backing her, and I suspect it's because she does what he asks her to, which is do what I need you to do, right? We'll see if this works out. I hope for the best for this administration, and it's clear the Lolberts don't have much that they can offer. Um, if you fail to do your job, you get terminated. What does he fail to do? We just went over it, right? Trump is so extremely bad that the GOP losing the House and maybe the Senate in 2026 doesn't matter. I don't even care if they waste all their time impeaching him. This time, he totally deserves it. Why? What has he done that he deserves impeachment? This is why libertarians aren't taken seriously. Libertarians never voted R. They never did. And the amount of libertarians who lean independent are so few and far in between that it's like you guys are like statistically irrelevant. In fact, Trump could have not gained any libertarian votes, and he still would have won in a landslide against Kamala Harris. We don't care about you. I will not vote for a warmongering, big spending Republican socialist. Well, he's not warmongering. He's ended quite a few wars. He's trying his best to end other ones. Peace through strength is not the libertarian ethos. It's weakness and hopefully people leave you alone, which is the libertarian ethos. Big spending, Republican socialists, they don't understand what socialism is. It's kind of irritating because it undermines legitimate criticism of communism and socialism when you pretend that Trump protecting vital industry is the same as socialism. It just isn't. I will not vote for Israeli first. Or I don't understand this argument. Trump hasn't really been that pro-Israel. He's been quite. I mean, he's pressuring Israel to come to terms with Hamas. You don't think Israel would want to level all of Gaza and just like bulldoze it over if they had the chance and they had the support from the American political class? If they had the support from the American political class, they would have leveled all of Gaza like yesterday. But they haven't. That's because Trump has been saying, no, you guys are going too far. This is ridiculous, blah, 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 blah. So it's a mixed bag. I'm not a big fan with how close we are to Israel, but you got to take what you can get. You're not going to get anything better from a libertarian. You're not going to get anything better from um, the Democrats. In fact, you're going to get worse, if anything. Every single libertarian candidate that we've had in the last my entire lifetime has been just terrible on every issue. Homicidal, genocidal maniacs. Genocide. Like, this is why we don't take you guys seriously. This is why people don't take libertarians seriously. I mean, look at this. So, yeah, we don't take these people seriously. And it's quite embarrassing to see how low Ron Paul, like so-called libertarians, have fallen. I did a reaction video to Ron Paul earlier. that's posted on my channel. Go ahead and check that out. Like, share, and subscribe. God bless everybody.